We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Interest rates rise, bipartisan moves, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. The Senate approved a measure Wednesday evening to override President Biden's move last year to allow Chinese solar panel makers to avoid tariffs for 24 months. In a bipartisan 56-41 vote, the Senate voted in favor of the resolution, which was sponsored by Senator Rick Scott and co-sponsored by Senator Joe Manchin, the latest congressional action to face an expected veto from President Biden. The vote comes less than a week after the House passed a companion resolution with 12 Democrats voting in favor. This measure is pro-American jobs and anti-Chinese forced and child labor. It's that simple, Scott remarked on the Senate floor ahead of the vote. It's time for the Senate to finish the job in Congress and send this to President Biden's desk. This isn't partisan, it's about human rights, he continued. I will not stand by, and I hope the U.S. Senate will not stand by and accept excuses to turn a blind eye to Communist China's human rights atrocities. The tariffs in question were put in place by the Obama administration. Senator Chuck Grassley, along with House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, announced Wednesday that a whistleblower is claiming the DOJ and FBI possess a file describing an alleged criminal scheme involving then Vice President Joe Biden and a foreign national. This comes from a credible and unclassified whistleblower disclosures of this possible criminal activity when Biden was vice president, Grassley told Fox News' Sandra Smith on America Reports. Representative James Comer issued a congressional subpoena Wednesday that seeks the specific FBI document. According to a press release from Comer's office, Grassley said he believed the FBI possesses an unclassified internal document that includes very serious and detailed allegations implicating the current president of the United States. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday raised interest rates 0.25 percentage point and suggested it might pause its aggressive campaign to fight inflation to assess whether the damage from recent bank failures will get worse. The indication this 10th straight hike might be the last marked a significant shift in the central bank's effort to bring down inflation and steer the recovery from the COVID-19 crisis. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said another issue currently creating anxiety for markets, the fear that Congress will fail to raise the debt ceiling and allow a catastrophic default on federal debt, shouldn't even be considered a possibility. We shouldn't even be talking about a world in which the U.S. doesn't pay its bills, Powell told reporters. Regional bank PacWest Bancorp is teetering and considering options, including a sale, Bloomberg reported on Wednesday, citing people familiar with the matter. The Beverly Hills-based bank is working with a financial advisor to consider its next move in the wake of the collapse of 3 other regional lenders. Other options include breaking up the bank or a campaign to raise capital, according to Bloomberg. A lack of potential buyers could make it hard to sell PacWest outright. PacWest shares fell 58% in late New York trading on Wednesday, after falling 28% Tuesday as regional bank stocks came under pressure following J.P. Morgan Chase's purchase of failed First Republic Bank. National Assessments of Education Progress test scores released on Wednesday showed that 8th graders' knowledge of civics declined last year for the first time since the current testing framework was started in 1998. Scores plunged most sharply in history on the so-called Nations Report Card, in a stark reminder of the effects the pandemic had on education. About 40% of 8th graders had below basic scores in U.S. history last year, up from 34% in 2018 and 29% in 2014. The backsliding during the years after COVID-19 hit the United States accelerated a trend of worsening test scores that started a decade earlier. Only 13% of the students scored at proficient level in U.S. history, down from 18% in 2014. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. I'll see you next time.